The moment we open our eyes in the morning, our very first instinct is to reach for our phone or the buzzing alarm clock. Then, the daily rush begins, catching the bus, making sure not to miss a meeting, preventing the meal in the oven from burning. Every single moment of our lives is sliced up into milliseconds and seconds. Yet, as we watch those digital numbers rapidly tick away on our screens, we rarely pause to think that measuring time is actually one of humanity's oldest and most challenging quests. For a vast portion of history, nobody wore a watch on their wrist. Time for people was simply a feeling. The sunrise in the morning, the shortening of shadows at noon, or a chill in the air. When to head out to the fields or when to go hunting was determined directly by the rhythm of nature, prompting instant action. However, as communities grew, people became more clever, and cities and civilizations were established. These rough calculations provided by nature fell short. A more precise concept of measurement became essential to keep trade running smoothly, perform religious rituals on time, and maintain social order. This journey, which started with observing the shadow of a simple stake driven into the ground, flowered through the flow of water, the sifting of sand, and the ticking of mechanical gears, all the way to atomic vibrations. Today, those small devices we carry on our wrists or in our pockets actually stand before us as the product of thousands of years of human intelligence and curiosity. Humanity's earliest method of measuring time was entirely rooted in observing nature. The sun rose every morning, moved across the sky, and set in the evening. This cycle repeated endlessly. By following these cycles and looking at the sun's position in the sky, people could figure out what part of the day it was. However, this method did not work on cloudy days or at night, calling for a more reliable and comprehensible system. Around 5,000 years ago, the civilizations of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia invented and developed the first sundials by using the shadows cast by sunlight. The shadow of a vertically planted stone or stick changed its direction and length throughout the day. By carefully observing and noting these changes, the day was divided into specific time intervals. The sundial was recognized as one of mankind's first true clocks and was used for many years and in some cases is even used today. Yet, its biggest drawback was that it only functioned on sunny days. Wishing to overcome this limitation, people wanted to harness the steady flow of water. Thus, the water clock, or Clepsydra, emerged. Water flowed at a constant rate from vessels with a small hole in them, and as the water level dropped, the elapsed time could be calculated. Utilized in various designs across ancient Egypt, Greece, Rome, and China, water clocks provided immense convenience, especially at night and indoors. Later on, hourglasses were developed. Sand passing through a narrow passage between two glass chambers could measure a specific duration quite reliably. Especially popular on ships, in churches, and in kitchens, hourglasses remained one of the indispensable timekeeping tools for many years. Even today, we still have the chance to see hourglasses used as decorative items and sold in antique shops. Candle clocks were also developed during periods when water and hourglasses fell short. A burning candle marked with specific hourly intervals provided a reliable way to measure time, especially indoors or at night when the sun was not visible. Often used in palaces, monasteries, and even by ancient civilizations like the Chinese, candle clocks successfully kept track of time as the wax steadily melted away. However, humanity now needed systems that were more precise and operated continuously. The growth of cities in medieval Europe and the regular prayer schedules in monasteries paved the way for a new technology, mechanical clocks. The 13th century would be the era when the first mechanical clocks appeared. These clocks consisted of simple gear systems driven by the downward movement of weights. The core operating principle of the clocks we use today actually began to take shape during this period. The earliest mechanical clocks lacked hour and minute hands. They only announced the time by striking bells. Giant tower clocks placed in city squares rang their bells at specific intervals, allowing the entire city to know the exact same time. Although these clocks were a major engineering feat for their time, they were quite inaccurate, sometimes drifting by more than half a minute a day. Scientists relentlessly continued searching for systems that would run more accurately. In 1656, Dutch Scientist Christian Huygens developed the pendulum clock. Inspired by Galileo Galilei's observations on the regular swing of a pendulum, this design sparked a true revolution in time measurement. Thanks to the pendulum, clocks could now display minutes and even seconds with much greater precision. The margin of error dropped significantly, and clocks became reliable instruments for scientific research as well. During the same period, navigation was advancing rapidly, and new continents were being conquered. However, ships out on the open seas needed extremely accurate clocks to correctly calculate their longitude. And unfortunately, this problem would persist for many years. In the 18th century, English clockmaker John Harrison solved this issue largely by developing the marine chronometer. Thanks to his invention, ships could navigate oceans much more safely. New continents were conquered without a hitch, and global trade grew rapidly. Following these developments, another innovation took the stage: the Industrial Revolution. Factories were going to be established, railways built, cities and people rapidly growing and developing, which made it mandatory for everyone to use the same time. Clock manufacturing shifted from manual craftsmanship to factories. Thanks to mass production, watches transformed from items exclusively for the wealthy into products affordable for ordinary people. Throughout the 19th century, pocket watches gained immense popularity. They became indispensable, particularly for business people, railway workers, and soldiers. Carried with a chain, these watches were seen as status and prestige symbols of the era. By the early 20th century, the first wristwatches would make their entrance. Although initially accepted as an accessory intended for women, soldiers during World War I realized that using pocket watches on the battlefield was highly impractical. They began strapping their watches to their wrists. This method proved so useful that, following the war, wristwatches spread rapidly and quickly became the most popular type of watch in the world. Alongside these rapid developments, mechanical clocks continued to evolve, and automatic winding systems were invented. Thanks to a rotor mechanism powered by the user's wrist movements, watches could be continuously wound, eliminating the core of daily manual winding. The year 1969 marked one of the greatest turning points in the watch industry. Japanese manufacturer Seiko introduced the world's first commercial quartz wristwatch. Quartz crystals vibrate extremely regularly when electricity is applied, and these vibrations provide much more precise timekeeping than mechanical systems. Furthermore, production costs were quite low. Thus, quartz watches quickly captured the global market. This period would be called the Quartz Revolution in watch history. Starting from the 1980s, digital watches began to spread. Thanks to LCD screens, these watches, capable of displaying time with numerals, brought along many new features such as alarms, stopwatches, countdown timers, and calendars. The watch was no longer just an instrument telling time, but was transforming into a multifunctional electronic device that made daily life easier. Meanwhile, much more precise systems were quietly being developed in the scientific world. The dawn of the space age, the emergence of the internet, the development of GPS systems, and the simultaneous operation of billions of electronic devices created a demand for systems capable of measuring time with an accuracy greater than a millionth of a second. This is precisely where atomic clocks stepped in. Atomic clocks measure time based on the vibrations of cesium atoms. These clocks operate on a completely different principle from the mechanical or digital clocks we know. They contain no gears, springs, or quartz crystals. Instead, they utilize the extremely stable energy transitions of cesium-133 atoms. According to the International System of Units, 1 second today is defined as 9,192,631,770 microwave vibrations occurring during the transition of a cesium-133 atom between specific energy levels. No longer did humans define time. The unchanging physics of atoms did. These clocks operate with such accuracy that they will only lose a single second over approximately 300 million years, and they are accepted as the most precise time reference in the world. Today, GPS satellites, internet servers, financial systems, space research, and global communication networks operate in flawless synchronization thanks to atomic clocks. So, how can millions of clocks around the world show the exact same time after all of this? The answer to that is calibration. Calibration is the process of checking the accuracy of a measuring device by comparing it with a known and reliable reference. In the case of clocks, this reference consists of national time laboratories and atomic clocks. The phones, computers, and smartwatches we use today no longer rely solely on the crystals inside them. Through the network time protocol operating over the internet, they continuously synchronize with the world's atomic clocks. The same system is utilized in GPS, satellites. Your phone's ability to determine your location within a few meters of precision depends on the nanosecond-level accuracy of these atomic clocks. If there were even a billionth of a second error in these clocks, navigation systems could display locations wrong by kilometers every single day. And finally, technology carried the watch to an entirely different destination. In the 21st century, smartwatches emerged. Initially, simple devices capable of displaying phone notifications, these products quickly evolved into wrist-worn mini-computers. Today's smartwatches do much more than simply show the time. They measure heart rates, track blood oxygen levels, analyze sleep quality, count your steps, record your workouts, pinpoint your location with GPS, allow you to make phone calls, and offer safety features like fall detection. Thanks to artificial intelligence-backed systems, they can analyze personal health data and offer customized recommendations to the user. A human who followed the sun's shadow thousands of years ago can today continuously monitor not just time, but their own body and life, thanks to a device measuring just a few centimeters worn on their wrist. The evolution of the watch is not merely the progression of a technology. It is also a reflection of the advancement of civilization, science, and humanity. Today, the small smartwatch we carry on our wrist is the result of thousands of years of accumulated knowledge and the joint efforts of countless inventors. While early people tried to figure out what time of day it was simply by looking at the sun's shadow, we now measure time anywhere in the world with millisecond precision using systems referenced to atomic vibrations. Perhaps in the future, our watches won't just display time. They will make holographic calls, predict our health conditions in advance using artificial intelligence, analyze our surroundings, and undertake tasks we cannot even imagine yet. Yet, no matter what technology is developed, at the very beginning of this entire journey lies the curiosity of the first human who looked up at the sky and watched the sun's shadow. Because the desire to measure time continues to stand as one of the most significant symbols of humanity's urge to understand the world. And as we look ahead, this endless pursuit will keep shaping tomorrow. And now, you know how it was made.